So today we're talking about the expression "I'm so OCD", and about why that might be offensive to some people, or why it might not be the best phrase for people to use, and some people might not perhaps be aware of why that is.
I'm 20 years old and I'm a student, and I've had obsessive-compulsive disorder for as long as I can remember. And I also have major depressive disorder.
I'm 17 and I'm in the upper sixth. I was diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder around age 11, and I went through cognitive behavioural therapy for about 2 years, and now I'm pretty much stable, but I always think an aspect of obsessive-compulsive disorder will stay with me and part of my life.
I'm 22 and I'm currently volunteering at OCD Action. I've had OCD since I was about 7 or 8. Have undergone successful CBT, but as always it's still very much present.
The most annoying things I think about the phrase "I'm a bit OCD" is that it almost suggests it's like a personality trait or a quirk. It's not something that's very serious, and I hear a lot of people at school coin that phrase about kind of exams, or like everything has to be really neat, and it does upset me because I know OCD isn't like that.
The phrase "I'm so OCD" really bothers me because it trivialises the disorder that's actually really debilitating. The worst thing is when you tell people that you have OCD, which it takes a lot of courage to work up to a stage where you feel like you can do that, and then the worst response, and the most common response as well, to you saying that is for the other person to say, "Oh, I totally know what you mean, I'm OCD about this."
You would never say I'm a little bit anorexic or I'm a little bit bipolar. Like, that wouldn't be acceptable because people know about those disorders and people are aware of those disorders and how much of an effect they can have on people. So in the same way, OCD needs to be made more aware of what it is and how debilitating it can be, because then people wouldn't say it.
Also, OCD isn't something that isn't just a cleaning disorder, it isn't just a trait, and I'm so OCD is often used in the context when people talk about having their room really tidy, or one of my friends at school had to have his exam desk in a certain way, and it was a kind of a personality thing. And it's not, OCD is so multifactorial, it covers so many different areas of people's lives.
So often I think that people use the term "I'm so OCD" in issues relating to sort of cleanliness, tidiness, having things in neat or symmetrical order, and that I think also only portrays one aspect of OCD. So OCD takes many different forms. Nothing is unusual with OCD, and it's certainly not restricted to cleaning or tidiness.
I think that people believe that OCD is a condition related to being afraid of germs and cleanliness, when actually it is only like that in a small proportion of cases in comparison to everything else. You can have OCD in relation to any kind of thing. Just because you have a diagnosis of OCD doesn't mean that you're a kind of clean freak.
I've had people who I know from school on my Facebook say things such as, I've had such an OCD day of cleaning the house, or today has been proper OCD because I've spent the whole day doing a spring clean, feel so good now, kind of thing. And again, it's not their fault, they're just using it as a term of phrase, and because people in power use it as a term of phrase, people in the media and teachers and whatever, people who again don't have enough awareness about OCD, people like that say it, and then it makes other people think that it's okay to say something like that.
OCD itself is kind of almost downplaying it, because everyone just uses OCD in a sentence. You should almost say obsessive-compulsive disorder. You shouldn't say OCD at all, because OCD itself has this stereotypical connotation that it's a personality trait. So people almost should get in the habit of saying, I have obsessive-compulsive disorder, because I think actually there's a lot of labels connected to OCD itself.
If someone was watching this now and they have known that they've said, "Oh, I'm so OCD," or "I'm a little bit OCD," I'd just say, do a little bit of research into it. It would only take 5 minutes to read an article or read someone's case study. There's a lot of case studies online. There's a lot of case studies online at the OCD Action website, and they're very informative, and I think you'd think completely differently if you read if you read someone's story about it.
To people with mental health problems, and especially those with OCD, it is really upsetting that people seem to want to have their life, and for those with really severe OCD, you can't even really call it a life. It's an existence.
So OCD Action and the OCD Action Youth Panel are really trying to tackle this misinformation about OCD. And one of the ways we're doing that is through our Youth and Schools project. So we're sort of educating teachers about what OCD is, how to support young people with OCD, and how to spot OCD. So there's a average of 12 years before a person with OCD will actually get the support that they need. So we're really trying to work closely with young people, with parents, with teachers, to get the word out there what OCD actually is.